Hey guys, it's John. You are on the JRB Tree Climbing channel and you are on the playlist, the JRB Climbing Method. I'm doing something today that I've been dying to do for quite a while and I'm really excited about it. First of all, I got a brand new rope here that I've never climbed on and I haven't rigged before. So I'm going to be rigging this rope, I'm going to be tying my hitches, I'm going to be testing it, I'm going to be climbing on it. So let me tell you what I bought. It's 8 millimeters. It's not a static rope, it's a dynamic rope. It's made by Meech. It's their 8.0 Alpine dry rope. It's super light, it's less than 3 pounds. It's got dry treatment, so it does well in the rain. And at 8 millimeters, it's really light and easy to pack. The hitch cord I've chosen for this, I've got it around my neck, and that is Sterling power cord, 5.9 millimeters. They sell this in 25-foot lengths, and 25 feet is enough for, I've got two 44-inch pieces for my primary friction hitches, and on the ground I've got a pair of 36-inch pieces for my backup friction hitches that go below, should you choose to use them. And then I've got 4 feet. I've redone my redundant bridge out of 4 feet of that, and there's enough left over for anything else you might want to do, like your best friend system. And so this is if you haven't figured it out, this is a take one situation here, right? We've never had this rope out, and so you're going to be seeing this live for the first time. The only preparation I've done besides what I've showed you already is here in my hand on the one end of the rope. What I've done is I've got a cable tie holding in a brass boat clip, and I keep a second brass boat clip on the line itself, and I use that for rigging the system, for putting it up and over the branch. So this is kind of step one for me. I rolled a couple of feet out of the pack to do that, just to keep this video moving along. So let's go for it. This rope's been sitting in my basement for 2 months waiting for this video. So with any new rope, and periodically with ropes you're using, it's important to inspect them. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now as I drop the rope. So I'm really just passing it through my fingers and inspecting to make sure there's no defects, no bumps, no abrasions. And I will quickly consume the 30 meters of rope. So that's 98 feet if you're converting. And I just go ahead and climb it. You would rarely need that much, but it gives you such confidence that if you needed to throw over a tree that was 50 foot high at the crotch, even if you don't go that high, that you can. Okay, so the rope's inspected, and now I've got my throw line already up and over the tree. And normally I would do this work, in my basement or garage, not in a tree, but we're going to go ahead and fast forward and do everything at one time. So if you see my earlier videos, I've adopted the convention that I always go up the right side and come down the left side with my throw line. And I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but I've learned that it kind of helps to have a convention established, because if you're climbing a tree in the dark and your ropes get crossed, you always know that the loose end is on the left. So that's the way I've chosen to do it. Never felt this rope before, so it's dynamic rope. I'm feeling it out. It's got a little bit of bounce to it. That doesn't bother me. We don't need to only climb on static ropes. They're a little bit more comfortable, but a dynamic rope works great as well. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I've got videos, detailed videos on all of these knots. So we're not going to turn this into a knot tying lesson, but I will, so I'll be going a little quickly. So I am going to tie my upper friction hitches, the Meech. And so I've got this 44 inches here, and for the upper Meech loops, I start from the outside coming to the inside. I choose about 21 inches of line, which for me is about the width of my arms. I take that and I'm going to start my Meech loop. How do I do that? You can watch a detailed video, but I go upward 6 wraps. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop it back behind the line and up through. So I've tied a Meech on the left. Now I'm going to close it in a hunter's bend. I do that with an overhand loop facing towards the outside, creating an overhand knot. I've chosen my tail length of about 2 inches. I'm going quick here, but there's detailed videos on how to tie the hunter's bend. I put that through the overhand knot, drape this over. The first time we tied our shoes, it was complicated too. And I don't want you to be intimidated by tying knots, because this is something we do once. I can tie this system here today and then climb on it quite a bit before I ever might need to replace these hitches, and I can do so as slowly as I want to. I'm now going to make the hitch on the left side, so it's the same deal. I choose about 21 inches of line, place it behind the rope, and go around 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop it behind, up through the first strand. That's my Meech. Now I'll close it with a hunter's bend, overhand loop starting towards the outside. I'm doing this at normal speed just because I want you to know how easy it can be. I'm capable of inspecting these hunter's bends on the fly. You'll take a little bit more time, and that's fine. You can be as careful as you need to be in a controlled setting. The point is, I'm not tying any knots in the woods, right? The system is rigged in advance. That's all you need for the basic JRB climbing system. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a short ascent using that. I'm going to come back down, and then I'm going to put the bottom friction hitches on. And this is fun for me because I have never been on this rope. I have never been on this cord before. And you'll notice here, just because I've done it a lot, I'm careful to leave my tails at the same length, because I started with 44 inches. I know that they're going to come out at roughly the same length, and that's super handy. So my system's got 2 bridges on it. This is my upper bridge. Great. And I've got 2 different foot loops. When I use the system in this fashion, my redundancy, or my best friend, is the longer variant of the foot loop. So let's put that on, put the Garter Hitch on. Got detailed videos on everything you've seen thus far, all on this playlist that you're on. Go to my channel, look at playlists, and look for JRB Climbing Method. Okay, so let's test this out. Let's put our weight on that, see how that feels. Let's bounce a little. If there's going to be a problem, if something's going to go, let's have it go now. Okay, so you've seen this before, but my Ascent method, it varies, but the easiest way is to put your hands on these Meech loops. As we've formed them, I put my fingers, my index fingers, around the base of them. I stand up and I shove them up. I say to folks, if you can get up off the couch with 1 foot and 2 hands, then you can rope climb using my method. Let's do that again. Okay, so I'm not going to show off and go too high, because this is really just one of those videos where we're rigging the system, and you'll be able to keep your eye on me a little better too if you're practicing any of these techniques. I rappel using a Munter friction hitch. Put that on, and this will be fun. How hard is it to break these 5.9 millimeter loops? I don't know. What if I had trouble breaking them? Well, another nice thing about those brass boat clips on the bottom of my lines is that if I ever had trouble breaking this, I simply fish up that brass boat clip. Here it is. If I had trouble breaking it, I put this on the line and use it as a breaker. All right, so let's see how this goes. I got my no problem. So I was able to break them with relative ease. They're more difficult to break than if I use a 7mm line, but I like them. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, if you'll recall that I have an option for my system where I use an automatic tending device in the form of a neck strap. Now honestly, I don't know how often I would use that because I'm so adept at climbing the way I just demonstrated, but I do like having those extra set of friction hitches on the system because I use them for a number of things, including a bypass. If there's a branch in the middle of my climbing lines and I need to get around it, I can use those second set of hitches as a bypass. So let me show you how I do that. We're going to tie the second set of hitches. Now, you recall the upper set, I started from the outside going in. For the bottom set, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go from the inside going out. Again, I choose about, my guess, for 21 inches of line. Start from the inside going out, tie it to 6-turn Meech. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down behind the back, up through. I've got that Meech. So the system is rigged and ready for load. The only detail we're going to have to do in the lab is showing you how I rig the little straps here for the neck strap. But there you have a newly rigged JRB climbing system, fully redundant. Redundant friction hitches, of course. Your only failure modes are the tree and the climbing line. Ready to go. I have a feeling this is going to be my go-to this year. I really like the feel of this rope. It's flexible yet strong. It's got a rigid outer sheath, and that little bit of bounce didn't bother me at all. So there you go. That's how to rig the JRB climbing system. We just ended the other video where I just rigged this system, but I'm really dying to do my first climb, so this will be a very, very quick video. I'm going to climb the way I climb on 2 hitches, and I've got my best friend integrated into my foot loop. I'm going to leave those other hitches on the ground because I've got nothing to bypass. So let's have a little fun here. Deal. Putting in my Munter friction hitch, take out the slack, and then break these friction hitches one at a time. And tend them on the way down. Again, I can afford a friction device, I just don't see the sense. a beaner is all you need. Thanks guys, hope that was fun.